Brad Yamoaka, head coach of the Kamloops Broncos, joining me now as his club heads into a Week 6 matchup against the Westshore Rebels. And Coach, haven't had a chance really to chat one-on-one with you this season. It's mostly been the two-on-one interviews. So, give me a bit of a state of the union, an update on where things are at with your group right now, how you guys have sort of progressed through the first half of the season.
Well, we've obviously we've struggled. We've struggled to find our footing and kind of our, just the way we want to do things, I guess, is, what we're trying to find. And we're trying to find our inner strength, I guess, at this point. So, we're just trying to get better every week. Every kid is working hard. And I think it's just one of those things where, we've had some bad bounces. We've started games not in the best way in the last few weeks, and it seems like once we get into a game, things kind of settle down. But we gotta eliminate the spotting other teams a whole bunch of points before we even get going. So,
is it an execution thing? Is it a game planning thing? A talent level thing? Where do you see maybe as being the area where you need the most focus?
I just think it's a mental thing. I think. I mean, it's we are fairly young again. I sound like a broken record every year. We're young every year, so it doesn't seem like we seem to get much older. But it's one of those things where it's just a mental, the mental aspect of the game and getting prepared and coming out and playing a game from whistle one to the end. And I just don't think we've figured out a way to get ready to play a game from the first whistle yet.
This is a really unique weekend coming up, a 4-point game, one of the first times in my memory that I've ever seen this happen in the BCFC. And I know there were some issues and a little bit of controversy around when this game was canceled initially, but how are you approaching a 4-point game and really a big matchup in Westshore this weekend?
Well, it's for us, it's just another game, right? And obviously, winner, loser, tie, whatever the case is, it's going to be a big game for somebody this weekend. So, we just got to go in and do what we're doing, do what we do, and obviously they have a very different type of defense. I know Shane will have those guys ready to go. So we just got to be prepared. And, like I said, the big thing for us is just being mentally prepared and being able to travel down and, come out for the first quarter or even the first kickoff and start playing our game right from the get-go. So if we can do that, I think we'll be in good shape, and I think it'll be a great game.
The last time you prepared for Westshore, you didn't end up getting to play them, but they were a Charlie Cartalicchia team. Now they're a Shane Beatty team. How does the change in head coach, in your mind, change that football team?
It's hard to say, right? I mean, we've watched the film on them the last couple of weeks, and they've struggled themselves. Obviously playing via a good VI team, and I think they're going to be out for blood, and it's just one of those things where I think Shane will have them ready. I think from an X's and O's standpoint, and like I said, I don't know where they are in the whole mental preparation game, but I can see Shane calming them down and getting them ready to play a game, and we just got to do the same thing.
Is there maybe a guy on either side of the ball, or a couple of guys who have really jumped out for you on your squad as having impressive seasons, maybe guys who you didn't see it coming from and have really surprised you in a positive way?
Yeah, we got a couple guys. I mean, there's last week we kind of had a meeting or a meeting after last week's game against Chilliwack, and we put in some young guys throughout the game, and obviously near the end of the game as well. And some guys are just were able to surprise us a little bit, and that's always a positive, because obviously they haven't had a ton of game time. They haven't been able to show what they can do on a regular basis. So we do have a few guys out there that are looking good, and we're hoping that they'll be the the guys that we're going to be rallying around in future years.
Brad, if you had to pick one out of the teams that you've played and what you've seen from Westshore, who do you think is a favorite to win the BC Championship this year? Who do you think is a team that has jumped off the page at you, who you think has all the pieces together to really make a push for it this year?
Well, if you talked to me after week one, I would have said Okanagan for sure. But it's a funny season so far. I know we're only halfway through, but if the season was ending today and we were going into playoffs, I'd probably have to give it to VI. I think they're playing some good football. They do what they do very well, and they're aggressive. And I just think they play a full team game. I think they're kind of one of those teams that when you watch them and when you see them live, and when you watch them on film, nothing really pops out at you like, oh my God, these guys are so good. But they just seem to be able to get the job done.
Brad, I always appreciate your time. Safe travels for your team, and enjoy the weekend in Westshore.
Appreciate it. Thank you.